as part of the Liberia Revenue Authority implementation of its corporate strategic plan, upon which we have our pillars of fairly administering the revenue, increasing voluntary compliance, enhancing our workforce to have professional people and structures in place to administer taxes, and having all of that underpinned by a robust ICT system. The Liberia Revenue Authority, with support from the USAID RG3 project, launched what we call an e-filing platform. What the platform allows you to do is to download it onto your computer, work on it without even being on the internet, and then as at when you're ready to submit your documents to the LRA, you then access the internet and submit that document. What that system is striving to achieve is to make the process of paying taxes much easier and also affordable for our taxpayers. Because we believe our development objective will be achieved if we can make the tax paying climate easier for everyone to comply. The system, as has been developed, will provide convenience to all our taxpayers. It reduces the cost and improves our efficiency. To work on the system, you basically need to do 4 things. The first time you have to use that system, it requires for you to access the platform on the LRA website, and then you have to download it onto your computer. Once you do that with the use of the internet, there are instructions in the reader side that will guide you under the Help tab on how to use each of the tabs. We are also available via our call center to provide assistance to taxpayers on how to use this platform. Then it requires for you to enroll onto the e-filing platform. And that enrollment entails submitting your tax identification number and also your last reported income in any of the available years as provided in the platform. Once you have done that, you will then submit it for enrollment. A verification is done at the background, and then you will receive a notification to say that your enrollment is successful. Once you've done that, you're now ready to continue using the filing platform as a means of submitting your returns to the LRA. As a taxpayer, you have obligation, and that obligation entails you being registered to do business, filing your returns, whether it is monthly, quarterly, or annual, based on the type of business you're involved in, and also for you to pay your taxes. So this platform is catering towards the filing, and it's expected that our taxpayers will use it to improve their compliance level and ensure that they make their payment and the filing as and when it is due. The taxes that this system covers is everything: our corporate income tax, your personal income tax, GST, that is the goods and services tax, withholding, real estate, excise, and the rest. So any kind of tax payment you need to make to the LRA for domestic taxes, this platform has captured it, and it provides an opportunity for you to utilize it. We are happy to announce that even before we launched the platform in July of this year, July 27th of this year, we had about 99 taxpayers that had already registered on the platform based on our initial engagement with them and exposing the information to them. So we are looking forward to having more of our taxpayers utilize this platform just to make the process easy. And we've also decided that within 90 days from the launch of the platform, all our large taxpayers will be required to use this platform to submit all of their returns to the Liberia Revenue Authority. Now, having provided that service or that means of easing the tax pay, what has the LRA been able to achieve relative to its core function of mobilizing and collecting revenue. The fiscal year 2017-2018 ended on June 30, 2018, and we realized 463.83 million as the revenue collected for that year. When the new government took over, there was a recast of the budget that set the budget at about 536. As we stated earlier, we collected 463.83. Of that amount of the 536, there was 97% of the revenue that came as a result of domestic revenue mobilization. And so that revenue, we were able to collect 419.12 million, and the recast budget had 445.08. So if you look at the numbers on what was projected and what was collected, you see that the revenue did not attain the expected target. And of course, we have explanation and justification for that. One of it being the fact that there was some legal challenge to the roll fund fee that impacted the projection that the government had anticipated. However, we are happy to announce that that legal impasse has been resolved. Budget for this year is 570.14. Of that 570.14, 561.62 is the core budget, and 8,053,000 is what we call contingent budget. Also, of this same 570.14 million, we anticipate that 506.19 will be mobilized domestically, and 51.3 million will be on account of external resources, meaning international support or that of non-government sources. And also a financing or gap of 12.63 that will be accomplished on account of borrowing. For this year, we normally collect our revenue on a month-to-month basis. So this 570 is showing what the government is supposed to mobilize and collect as from July 1, 2018 up until June 30, 2019. So for the month of June or July, the forecast was 36.09 million. The collection for June was 34.04 million. When this amount is compared to what was collected the same time last year, you'll see that we collected 32.3 million for the same month of July last year, showing that this year we've been able to generate 1.74 million more than what we did last year. Some of the revenue that were anticipated in the month of July that did not come through was on account of the maritime revenue, because like we said, once we set the forecast, there are assumptions that feed into it over time. But the maritime revenue expected comes in through seasonality, and those forecasts have been readjusted to reflect the data we've received from maritime, and the collection will be reflected in August and in subsequent period. Of course, because it is the rainy season, but also the revenue that comes from ministries, agencies, and commissions that are revenue generating. The pace at the beginning of the year starts slow for some of the functions, especially where you have rains and the enforcement becomes a challenge. But we are optimistic that with concerted efforts with all of these revenue generating agencies, the targets that have been set for the year will be achieved. One other area that we'll closely monitor during this year's implementation is that of the exchange rate translation. When the budget was passed, there was a portion, about 40% of the budget is expected to be collected in Liberian dollars. When the rate that was used for the budget passage was 140 Liberian dollars to 1 US. That was at the time the budget got passed. But then at the implementation stage, the rate was somewhere in the range of 150 and upwards. So when you're translating the collection in Liberian dollar to arrive at your total amount in US dollar, the fact that your projected rate and your actual rate are different, you will experience either an exchange rate gain or an exchange rate loss. So on account of the exchange rate, about 680,000 will be explained as an exchange rate loss, meaning the rate at which we transacted was much higher than the rate at which we projected the budget. But we're optimistic with the intervention of the government, the exchange rate will be managed such that we can attain or come below what was projected in the budget. And of course, we're looking towards our state-owned enterprises who will also be giving their budget support as has been approved by the legislature. What are the prospects for 18-19? Like we stated earlier, the road fund collection has resumed, and therefore the 31 million that has been forecasted in this fiscal year, we're optimistic that we will collect that and even more. So because of that, we've now forecasted that about 4.43 million of that amount will be collected in the month of August. We've also improved our customs performance, and that is largely due to the implementation of our centralized assessment regime that tried to synchronize all of the declarations submitted to customs for it to go through a collective review process before they are sent to the individual ports for the clearing of the product. To the rural people is the mobile tax payment. So once you have a mobile telephone, irrespective of where you are in Liberia, as long as you can receive a call, you can pay your tax also by using a mobile platform. In the future, we will also develop a tool that will enable them to do filing in addition to payment, also utilizing their mobile phone. But for now, in the rural area, it's the mobile phone and the mobile money that they can use to also pay the tax. For the Liberia Public Radio question, the average annual collection for domestic revenue is somewhere around the range of 450 million. It's average, meaning it's higher or lower based on your adding up. Now, the budget, when we talk about the total revenue, encompasses domestic resource or revenue as well as external resource, meaning money coming from other friendly governments or organizations to the government of Liberia. That would be our total revenue basket. But for the revenue that LRA is responsible for ensuring is collected is the domestic resource, of which we are around 450 million on average. And your concern was, how are we managing the mandate of the president relative to the reduction of taxes? I'm pleased to inform you that the amended tariff schedule that was passed in December 2017 by the former legislature was put into effect on the 18th of June 2018. And that tariff schedule brings onto operation the reduced rate that was preferred and required by the president. And so that has been in effect and has been there for more than or about 2 months.